In the wake of a Project Veritas undercover video that proves CNN is a dishonest, biased, intellectually bankrupt den of anti-American liars with shriveled souls that look like the desiccated polyps cursed by the sea witch Ursula in Disney's The Little Mermaid, CNN has responded by issuing a statement saying, quote, "We are not covering this story on air and therefore it doesn't exist, sort of like the corruption in the Obama administration," unquote. Privately, CNN protested strongly against the videos, saying they had unfairly shown the news network to be purveyors of false news and had thus interrupted CNN in their important work of firing journalists who had gotten caught reporting stories that weren't true. Fortunately, CNN says their newsroom is still well staffed, as many of their reporters have not yet been caught. At the same time, CNN released a new poll showing that 90% of Americans believe every story that CNN reports, and 97% say CNN is the best station ever in the whole wide world, and 103% say that anyone who doesn't like CNN is a stinky poo-poo head, especially if he's president of the United States and is mean and ugly. The poll goes on to predict that Democrats will win every election from now on, and then everyone's health care will be free and no one will die. Also, the poll shows 87% of Americans say that anyone who doesn't believe CNN polls is a danger to the First Amendment, or whichever amendment has the whole press thing in it. Meanwhile, CNN, quote, reporter, unquote, Jim Acosta is very angry because Sean Spicer has stopped allowing cameras during the daily press briefing. In a furious on-air rant, Acosta said, quote, "Freedom of the press will not survive if I can't grandstand on camera by shouting obnoxious yet meaningless questions that I can then play on air to make it seem like I'm a courageous journalist instead of just kind of a loudmouth D-bag," unquote. By shouting on camera rather than actually reporting, Acosta said he was trying to be like his hero Dan Rather, the revered father of the fake news industry. In truth, this hasn't been the best time for CNN. The crappy news network was forced to fire Kathy Griffin after she posed with a facsimile of Donald Trump's severed head. They then had to fire Reza Aslam after he posted foul-mouthed tweets about Trump. They then had to fire 3 reporters for publishing a false anti-Trump story. They then had to admit that every story they had run since Trump was elected had been completely made up, and then the entire staff had to stand in a circle and fire one another until the place was empty. Finally, CEO Jeff Zucker had to sever his own head and punch it in the face while screaming, "Why did you ever leave NBC where you were allowed to just make stuff up?" All in all, the cable station has managed to live up to its slogan, "The most busted name in news." Now, maybe I heard that slogan wrong. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.